I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. This is a 1927 Hardman piano that I think is absolutely gorgeous, and we did a full restoration on this piano. I mean, this is not like a hybrid kind of half restoration, half refurbishing. Like, this is a fully restored piano, and you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. So first, let's just look at the cosmetics of this piano. I think it's really pretty. Um, we ended up doing a natural finish on it because the wood just really popped. Originally in 1927, it would have been quite a bit darker, maybe about like that. That's a 1922 Baldwin right there. It would have been not quite that dark, but close to it. And when we stripped it down and we saw all of the veneer, it was like, okay, yeah, this this veneer, this wood grain is just too extraordinary to to cover up with stain. So this is just a lacquer finish, which it does make it more vulnerable to see blemishes. You know, the darker you go, the more the blemishes from almost 100 years of existence, the more those are visible. But this piano actually was in pretty good condition, and so fortunately we were able to really get away with just doing the lacquer, several coats of sanding sealer and lacquer only, and it ended up just being beautiful. So okay, now to make my case for why this should be considered a full rebuild, full restoration, let's have a look on the inside. You can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the plate. Plate is redone. That's an automotive paint, beautifully done. Then you can see all the bridges are new. The caps, the root is original, but we took off about a half an inch or so and put on new bridge caps. You can see how well that's done. Beautifully done. And then the soundboard's been repaired and refinished, and any like separating ribs, that sort of thing, all of that uh, was repaired and um, ready for another 100 years. Okay, then more. You can see the tuning pins; those are all new. Then down in the action, I'm not going to pull out the action. That would take a few minutes, but you can see in there everything is new as well. The hammers are new, the shanks are new, all of the whippings are new. These are not 1927 original whippings, though they are the original design. The whippings, fortunately, that we were able to find are still manufactured today. There's actually a lot of what do you call it? Standardization, I guess. Standardization in the piano industry really hit hard in the United States anyway, in the 1880s, where, for example, in the 1880s there was one manufacturer that manufactured 90% of all soundboards, even though there were literally hundreds of piano manufacturers. This one soundboard maker was making all the soundboards for 90% of the manufacturers. Same with actions. There were just a handful of action makers, just a handful of hammer makers, and they would send all of their actions and their hammers away to these their clients, were the piano manufacturers, the ones that would actually kind of use their own designs and assemble using these parts, making slight different changes in design and scaling and cabinetry and all of that, and that's what would differentiate the different piano manufacturers. So fortunately, what that means for piano rebuilders 100 years later is that because there aren't as many piano designs or action designs as there are pianos, there's only a handful of different designs of actions. And so on a 100-year-old piano like this, we can find exactly the same component, brand new, that was manufactured 100 years ago. Okay, also the keys are new. You can see how beautifully done these keys are. An ideal key job is you have flush along all of these sides. You have these notches that are perfectly 90 degrees, and then all of the notches meet up right there, in front of the sharps, and the distance between the front of the sharp and the back of the notch should be the same. So that's that's a beautifully executed key job. Bushings also. Bushings are what keep the keys nice and steady in there to give you a good solid feeling. All of the metal hardware has been replated. We have a plating shop here where all of that is done. So that's plating. Brass is kind of a tricky thing. Not many people do it because it's very, very tricky, very chemistry intensive. And fortunately, my son, the electrochemist, he's a chemical engineer. He has learned to do it, and it's actually taken him quite a while to like master and refine the technique. And he's gotten really good, as you can see. And there's not a huge call for it, like nationally, so there aren't very many people that do brass. A lot of people do nickel and all these other chrome, but brass is not common. But you can see it's beautifully done, from the lock to these hinges to this hinge, these screw heads, and then this lock here, the casters, or the ferrules above the casters. The casters are already solid brass. The ferrules have been redone. The pedals, those are beautifully done. So very pretty piano, full rebuild, ready to go for 100 years. And by the way, if we were to do this piano retail, the cost of all of this work would be not quite double, almost double of what we're asking for this piano. If we do about 100 restorations a year for people, for like old family heirlooms that come in, and those we prioritize. Whereas a piano like this, we kind of fit in the cracks in like when we have, you know, the stringing specialist, for example, when they have a free moment, they can quickly string this piano, and then this piano will kind of go into the back for another couple months. And so because of that filling in the cracks, we're able to sell this piano like this at like I said, almost half of what it would be if we were to do it one of the restorations that we do retail. Okay, so let's listen to it. My son, he's the chemical engineer. He's I'm very proud of him. He's studying at NASA. He's doing an internship going back tomorrow. Very sad for us, to the Huntsville facility. So let's, in honor of him, this is the lullaby I used to play for him. Let me know in the comments if you know what song this is. It's actually a very appropriate song for a NASA rocket engineer. love you, Ben, my son. Okay, wonderful piano. Come check it out. I think you will appreciate it. And we're doing a nationwide delivery. We've got about a dozen pianos that we're going to be delivering here pretty soon, all over the country. We sell pianos from Florida to Washington to Maine to California. So we're going to be delivering a lot of them. If you want to get on that shipment here coming up soon, let us know and we can do that for you. Thanks for watching.